Good morning. Have a seat. This morning, we are making a mail basket. And this is designed so that it can sit on a counter or it can hang on a wall and hold light things. And I'll talk about strength of a basket in a few minutes. This is one that was designed just for you ladies. This is the prototype basket. And I did it with the stripes on the side and the front. And then I decided the way we embellish this is going to either make it boring or make it cool. I did that to the front. And once I did that to the front, I decided these colored sides kind of detract from the front. It's an overload of color. So your kit is natural reed on the sides, stripes down the front, and enough stuff to do the ladder coming down the front. Now, for those of you that are my newer students, this is Appalachian style baskets, but instead of being done with oak splints, this is done with reed. Reed is sliced rattan vine. And it's pretty easy to work with as long as it's damp. If it's dry, you try to bend it, it tends to crack and break. So all of your reed has been pre-wet for you, including the colored reed. The colored reed was wet at home. And the main reason is, remember we said that if your colored reed is wetter than your natural, that your natural will soak up the color and it will bleed. So by having it dry out a little, your natural is now wetter and the color is going to stay where we want it. Now, this is a filled bottom basket, meaning it is solid. And for some of you that have trouble keeping track of this is done differently than your open bottoms, I have made a checklist for you. And it's not in the cover because I want you to be able to mark all over it to your heart's content, take notes, check off the steps. I think that's going to be easier. So who wants to be my guinea pig for the bottom? Mary? Okay. These are your shorter stakes. We're going to open this bundle up first. So I'm just putting them closest to you. Norma, we're not going to open these long ones until we're ready to weave them in because these two sizes are similar. And it's going to be easy to get your stakes mixed up. Okay. All right. So Mary, what I want to do is mark the middle of a couple of your reed. And I'm feeling for there's a rough side and there's a smooth side, better known as good side, bad side. And what you want to do is put a mark in the middle of the rougher side. I'll mark just one on that, and that's her reason. So I can take apart the short ones and mark a couple of these. You don't have to mark them all. Now, what I did is two ends together, pull it on a finger. There's the middle, make a dot.
On the rough side.
On the rough side. So your smooth sides are together and make a dot. Does not need to be a full line that you can't erase later. This is just a reference point to help us get these lined up properly to begin with. Those are for the no-shows. Okay. So what I want is just one long one. Kind of this one here. Out of the bundle, I told you don't take the rubber band off. Oh. I'll make sure it has a dot. Yes, there is. Now, this is the only horizontal I am laying down to begin with. Just this one. Now, I took apart her verticals. And I'll mark two of them. There we go. I'm going to lay one on top. Now the next one go underneath, and this is all rough side up. And I'm just eyeballing it with the ones that we had. Y'all know this.
Mary Anthony.
Now, spoke weights are because when you've got several of these going, you can't hold on to them very well. All right. So now I need to measure how wide the bottom of the basket is. And it should be in your pattern, but at this point, it's easier to just measure off at the same. All right. I want this to be in inches, not centimeters. 7.5. So 7.5 means the middle is 3 3/4, and I mark it at 0 and 7.5. So that's how wide this needs to be. I'm now going to just spread these out until they're all nice and even. Now, for those of you who are used to doing the open weave bottom, this is where you tend to get lost. I am not putting any more of the horizontals in right now. We are alternating, putting what's known as a filler strip, these short ones, and then the weavers. So after we've got the verticals in place, now I want to put a filler strip and bring it all the way down. Now I'm ready for a weaver. No, I know what that is. So now I can take apart the long ones that I told you, don't take them apart till you need them. Mark the middle of this one. And it goes over, under, alternating what the last row did. Now another filler. And the last of the weavers for this side. So still keeping it at, here's my mark, 7.5. Now I've woven in 2 weavers. Your pattern says take half of the number of weavers you need. So 2, spin, and do it again. Short one, long one, short one, long one. I'm gonna let you do that much. Yep. So for you, it needs to come this way. All right. So Bev, you got your 1. The long ones are still going to stay out of your way. Both of those are long ones. You get your shorter one. This stays out of your way until you need it. You're going to put, yep. So that goes, find the middle of it, and then that goes, and then 2 of these on this side, 2 of these on this side. Normally you got your 1 horizontal in.
I don't have anything yet, because there's only 4 of those, and I thought that's supposed to be 5.
There is.
Okay.
That's, that, put a mark on that, that's your first one, and then it's 2 and 2.
Okay.
All right.
I was gonna text you.
Yeah, that's all right. You're gonna have a total of 5. Give you this one, that has a little crinkle in the middle.
So this one is that.
Yep.
She's like, I'm an airhead today.
No, I am.
Did I put the right rough side up? Is that right? Where's your 7?
Which one is center? When you've got 4, there's supposed to be 5. Get that other one back that I thought was spare. It's not. Let's measure. I want to see where the center is. Center of 26 is 13. That's your center one. All right. Well, what I did is add it to the wrong side.
Okay, we just move these things up.
Okay.
So,
Out there. Okay. So I'm all gonna get it lined up. So you've got one more filler weaver over there.
fill in here.
I'll strip all this. Turn this around, has a little bit of bow, let's let it help us keep the corners open. Right. So what I do, we could measure, we want it 7.5. If your weaving was crooked like that, I can measure 7.5, 7.5, and it comes out the same, but it's not squared. So what we do is take the middle of 7.5, that's 3 3/4, and I'm going to sit the 3 3/4 in the middle of the middle stake. And then I measure it to 0 and 7.5. You're going to do the same thing up here. And then you can line your stakes up, space them out.
I haven't been out for a week, so I'm not doing very good today.
The next 2 go under. So why don't you get this side and I'll get this side. You want the left side up.
I have a little right here.
I want this in the middle. Slide you over so you and Mary aren't on top of each other. So your next one is a short one, and then a long, and then a short and a long.
So I start under.
What you got, Norma?
I don't have anything, I'm just sitting here. I'm in a fog this morning.
Come on, girlfriend.
Here's these 3, but I'm not sure what I'm supposed to do with.
You should have one more this size on the table. All right, so this one goes under, and just look at where the first one was, because it was marked, and line them up according to that.
That was.
Getting weaver's wrist,
Oh, no.
stack of rubber bands. Yeah, leave it.
Oh, look.
We'll just do this. There. Now, lift this up. Do you work towards you or away from you when you weave? Are you gonna feel this way or are you gonna feel this way?
It doesn't matter. I guess that would, it doesn't matter. I think I'm moving both ways.
All right, so it's going to be filler, weaver, filler, weaver.
Yeah, I got that. I just wasn't having enough steaks. I thought something was wrong, but I didn't know.
They were on the table, we were just in different order. Good, Lisa, keep going. Yeah. Got it. You know how to crowfoot, that's something you did with your best. All right, we're going to flip these short ones over and mark them on the far side of the second stake. 1, 2. You're gonna do it to all. Yeah, you gotta watch you don't pull it in when you, right? Yep. Doesn't usually happen with my kids because I cut things longer than I tell you to.
Oh, it's probably really long on that.
Yep. When you finish marking all of them, you're going to cut them so that that pencil line falls off. Okay. Yep, all the way around, all the short ones. Only the short ones, please.
How am I doing?
Now on these, well, I'm not sure if this was the same. We're gonna pull these up tight.
Okay.
Oh, thank you. Reposition these. Okay, so now you've got 2 on the side. You've got one more short one, long one up here. Oh. What is that, Mama?
Well, I used the long one. I used this one. That's the reason I didn't have enough. I used a shorter
How you
one.
doing over there, Max?
Oops.
All right,
did
this
want to
needs
use what it
a
needed now,
short,
right?
there's a filler between every weave.
Yeah, but this is
No, oh.
it's not long enough. It doesn't, I did the wrong.
And Beverly and I have every one of them taken
All
apart.
right, then this is the one you needed there. This is it, right?
Yeah. Safe.
Okay. Told you you had them all, but they got
Well,
lost. All right, so I'm gonna pull out the wrong one. Now this needs to be your center one.
yeah. Now,
All right, you back on track?
yeah, I'm back on it.
All right, you do the short one down here. And you're just alternating short, long as you go.
And that's something to read. I couldn't put you on one, I should have gone over one, but I couldn't do that one. Okay. So then I was like, oh, I got it,
What I'm gonna do then, just flip it over. This is another Band-Aid lesson. She cut one of her fillers too short. So the Band-Aid for that is we're gonna cut that filler off right where it was supposed to bend. We're using a scrap. Sliding it under here. And it will now be your new filler. Perfect.
excellent, thank you.
Right. 702. All right, next step is measuring it. Your middle number is 3 3/4. I'm here, now mark it at 0 and 7.5. Do the same thing on the top one. Good, Mary. Lisa, you got it. Did this help any? Okay.
Just watch you carefully.
This is exactly.
Okay.
Okay, I guess I did it. I will use this because I can understand how this. I can
Went to
understand
great
how this-
lengths to even do the diagram. I wanted to make this as easy as possible.
There's more bracelets.
These were actually too tight. I had to take them off.
I have a whole other stack of them.
Now, you've got everything. Nope, you don't have these out to your marks.
Oh.
Now, we're gonna shift these and get them spaced evenly. Make sure you don't pull in on these as you fold. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And now you'll mark and cut and do the same over here. Normally you look lost. You all right?
No, I think I'm doing all right. Okay.
I'm gonna wait until Bev catches up with you and show both of you together how to do the profile. Hold on, we don't have the color in.
We were wondering about the color.
My bad, I forgot to tell you where to put the color, so I'm gonna come around quickly, zooming into everybody's. Take the center one. Yeah.
Yeah, very good. I don't know what it's in.
It actually has 3 of those, green, the blue, and red. So we work the reds together, and she's.
How you doing, Norman?
Okay.
You're better than last one.
Yeah.
Well, they just don't know.
I like your colors.
And she's the one that teaches the other basket group that meets. Rosa syndrome.
So, I took one that I had never done before. So trying to work on that. Thank you. She's good. Right, I ended on long ones. I know, and I have this one.
So let's.
I think mine's backwards, but I don't know.
So now what you're gonna do is weave these two back in on this side and then respace them.
Then none.
All right,
I might say, oh, how do I know? I don't know.
I don't know, I guess she does four.
I didn't know. Are we supposed to have long ones on that last 2 rows? Mine's backwards, I think.
yes, your long ones should be on the outside.
Okay.
Find which one is your middle. That one comes out because it's your middle one and two, your middle one and two.
Right.
Yeah, you have too many fillers. How'd I do that?
You must have Dead County Day that day.
I was doing this Monday, after I taught a tie-dye class at Oasis. I read the pattern yesterday to make sure I had everything. The kitchen is finished. The kitchen
Oh.
looks nice,
That is wonderful.
but we
And
carried
they're
the
still
floor through the
iron?
dining room and the living room. And once we did that, I said, well, we've got to bite the bullet, paint the built-in bookshelves white because now the browns don't match. And then, well, once you did that, we had crown molding in the kitchen, now we need crown molding in the living room, you know how it just ripples. Well, also needed to get a rug for the living room, now the carpeting is gone. And the rug I found was what pulled the whole place together, and the living room is my happy place now.
Good.
Oh, good. You have a lot of kitchen tools with you, but it's okay.
The kitchen, I'm still dealing with, where am I gonna put this? Because the kitchen has less storage now than it did originally. Because instead of a peninsula, we've got an island with a pass-through. And the trash can is in the island, so things kind of went wonky. I shouldn't be pulling it out of the wet much.
Oh, okay.
If I do, I done it on accident.
Oh, yeah. So, on this picture, was this center when you were left?
That's about to change when I put these colors in.
Up and down, up and down. Yeah. Yeah. Oh.
Nope, nope, nope.
Okay, I can do that.
And then just check your corners and get it measured right again.
Okay.
Be back to you, Mary. I'm gonna do this sitting down so that the Zoom folks don't get my room. All right, so I twist like that, create a tunnel. Elisa, check your basket that I didn't do like all three ends are blue on one side.
No,
Okay,
blue, purple, red.
purple, that's a bonus color. It's supposed to be green, red, blue. Mary, this is called tie-dye on the brain. This is called space dyed reed. What you do is you take your reed and wrap it in a circle and you dye 1/3 of it one color and then go to another color for another third.
Wow.
And that's how it rotates the colors. Just do red in the middle. Yep, you're gonna check that everything is still squared up. And that your crow foot is still ready to roll. No, I'm looking for your outside mark.
No, that's
To see this here.
Yeah, that's it.
And then,
And that.
there, right, is that your center mark? Here's the 3.5. Right, so that one is spaced. Why? What we need for you to do your crowfoot is for these to be under your outside row. So I'm gonna have to shift a little bit because what you've got is backwards and it's fixing. So there's your center marks. There's your center.
I'm going to recognize that.
Together. And now, when I do this, it leaves your short filler pieces ready to come
And your
up
name.
and around. Yeah, you started with your center under the horizontal instead of on top. And totally focus. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, there's your mark there. Right, so now.
Yeah.
Whatever. Do you understand what we were trying to accomplish?
Yeah.
Okay.
This one I use. I got it, but then I got to put one of the finished that. I did not have to figure out.
Good, Bev, you reminded me.
But we just won't go on.
Any basket that has a handle should come with an automatic warning that there is a weight limit to what you can pick up with that handle without it breaking.
Right.
This one can handle mail. It can't handle 5 pounds of rice. Even my big basket that I always carry, if that weighs more than maybe 5 pounds, 8 pounds, I hold it from the bottom so that the handle just doesn't break in it. My dad had a basket I designed for him to put all his travel magazines and cruise brochures and stuff in. And he picked it up one time and the handle broke. And it's awfully hard to go back and put handles when you've woven them from the bottom up. And I had to say to him, Dad, really? So here are your marks. Your marks are quite level. And there are your marks. This is spaced right. So these should be bending at the same place.
Okay.
These should be exactly the same. These you hadn't started yet, so those are starting from scratch. You're good to go. That is going to catch up with us, and I need to get married soon. Hey, Franny. Take the new one, open it up. Oh, they're all kinds. Let's avoid the headaches if we can. You need.
That's nice.
We'll go back to that. Because I am not shifting the sideways at all. All I'm doing is running these vertically. So those marks should still be Line up right when I'm done. Now I'm going to put this out here because we still want two stakes beyond the color. This one. Let's see here. Have you measured it 7.5 wide?
I did.
Here we go. Color in for this one.
Oh, there you go.
Boom. And in. There's one under one. Oh, yeah, don't need to slide it in close. All right, so double check where your marks are. Your marks way out there.
I know that's the center.
And grease these all together. Please don't get space when you're doing fillers. Because what happens is, we're gonna fold these over and anchor them down here, and there's your space. So when we do this way, we get tight. All right, good, go.
Should I turn this over the selfies? This was my 7-1.
That's fine. You'll use it again tomorrow.
Okay.
So what we need is. Oops. I'll give you a minute. So in trying to come up with a name other than mail basket for this one, I decided I'm going to just start doing tributes to those of you who have been repeat attenders. And so this basket was named after Miss Lisa here.
I feel really special.
Wow. Mary,
Yeah.
didn't I do one named after you last year?
I don't think so.
Okay.
If you did this day, it might have been Mary missed the class because
Well, I had heard that you were back in town, that somebody had run into you at the farmer's market or somewhere and said you had only been back 2 days.
Yeah.
So I knew you were around, which is why I shot you that email yesterday.
my granddaughter is here from California and I said, it's her senior citizens, not seniors. She's going to be senior next year. And the truth of that,
All right,
she's still
Lisa,
thinking
you
what
check your marks and space it, and now your fillers are in the right direction.
Thank you so much. Okay.
These can be dealt with later with a Q-tip, with Tilex or Clorox.
Okay.
All right, you got you two ladies. Oh, you got industrial stroke weights. You won't need them now because your weed is holding itself in place. All right, to do a crowfoot, we're going to take these short pieces. Where are my scissors? There they are. And you'll probably want to keep these for this step. I'm going to cut this in half vertically, going along the length of each one. Now to anchor them, I'm going to spread them into a V. So this one goes under here. Whoops, these are too long. Here. Oh, yeah. Maybe. All right, so it goes under here. and under here. Yep. If a basket is well made, you don't see any of the ends of your reed. And so this is one of those, oh, that's how you tuck it and make it invisible. So these are all cut now to the second state. And this will just go right on top. And this goes down. Now, I like to do the outside ones first, so you know that this isn't going to shift or shimmy on you. You're going to do that to both ends. All right, Bev, did you catch it?
I think so.
These will let you cut up into that corner without splitting it, and I think your shears would split. So go ahead and keep those two and get those back. All right.
I have these.
Since we have a couple of no-shows, we have some more we can pull over. Sorry, table leg. I want to split this lengthwise.
Yeah, I
Short
ordered
ones.
two tight.
Norma, do you know how to crowfoot?
Mhm.
Okay. I'm gonna do the outside ones first. and then get everything in line. These are gonna split into a V. So this one is under here. Yeah, we've done this before. But I'm trying to get it to where y'all are more comfortable with this bottom versus the other. So now, when this one splits, this sits right on top of that, not side by side. Side by side, it will show on the back, but just stack up. Keep them as flat as you can. Looks good, Norma.
Yeah, 'cause I'm not putting them on top of one another, because I was always.
So you're seeing, well, okay, you're not seeing corners. Usually if they're on, not on top of each other. So that's what putting them on top of each other does, is it keeps those corners from showing.
Thought about that. I just cut a little corner off.
Go to that second one.
But see, I
Same
told
when
you I
it's
wasn't taught how to do everything right.
Well, there are
Well, not
14
right,
ways
not
to
yeah.
do every
Yeah,
basket
but
bottom. You do what's comfortable for you. But yeah, we're trying to make it tidy and
Nobody ever
invisible.
told me to do that. So they do.
All right,
Measured. This is the new mark.
so now we're measuring to the outside of the seven.
Yeah,
steps.
yes. Oh, okay.
Stake one, stake two, outside.
I use the end of this to kind of pry it up.
And then you're gonna cut it so that pencil mark is gone.
Okay. All right.
Good. Pull that over a little more, on slow that. Nice. We want this just to be on top of each other. Spread them too far. They'll show.
Oh, right there, yeah.
So just aim for, well, it was on top of that instead of under. That's probably why you ran it so close. All right. I want to pull this out a little bit. This one looks like it pulled in slightly. Thank you. They have to come off tomorrow because I have surgery on Friday.
On Friday.
All right, same thing on this end. Don't let this slide in as you're working. Make sure these are not pulling on. And it's tricky because it's easy to pull these over and not realize that the stake was sliding under it.
Is that one wrong?
It's just a little too far apart. Let me show you why. Okay. It shows. Yeah. So we want them just to stack up. We don't want an X. We just want them to stack up together. So aim for just the middle with both of them.
Okay.
And we should not see,
That might be that mistake one.
well, it's just another way to nudge them over. We don't want corners showing, so if I shove the corners over, then they're where I want.
Yeah, yours is better than mine.
I had a lot of practice. Don't go by that
I know.
criteria.
992 baskets worth of practice with this one.
998.
Ooh.
Close.
At least we have to make sure another.
I'll get my
cake
better
is-
cake.
No. And because of the surgery, there will not be a July class.
Okay.
So sorry. What do you want to do in September? Are you ready to do a 2-day class?
Ooh.
Well, when we talked about it last, people were saying, I want a bigger basket. And I said, that'll require two days to finish. And they said, well, I don't mind. So are we wanting a bigger basket? And do you want it to be 2 days together, or do you want it to be September's first half, October's second half? And if you do that, you'll be taking home your half-done basket until the next month. I don't have enough storage for 8 half-done baskets in addition to my half-done baskets.
Oh my goodness.
That's a lot of half the projects.
And that thing get started, hot,
Right.
need a whole month.
Well, and I don't mind doing 2 days back to back. It may not be the third week in July. I'll have to look and see what my calendar says. But if you wanted to do a larger market basket or a Williamsburg basket, Williamsburg handle is shaped kind of like this. It's rounded and then it tapers in and has a flat bottom. So you end up with a round basket and a nice round handle that tapers in on the bottom. I think market basket is more functional. So y'all tell me what you want and I'll make it happen. Nice.
Now, it can't be July 20th. Because I'm going away for a couple of days.
This is for Locking Road. Remember how to do Locking Road? Well, then, step number 21. You're all the way down, oh, 12. I'm looking at it upside down. Step 12. Locking Road starts on the wrong side. When you get to a corner, make a right angle turn. Flip it like that. And you just keep on going all the way around like you're making a picture frame on your basket. And when you get back here, you're gonna overlap 1, 2, you're gonna cut it off right here. And then, you're gonna cut it off right here. And you get back. Norma, here's your Locking Road. Lisa's locker. After this, your bottom is done.
You will run. Yeah.
So, start her on one end and the other, doesn't matter.
At night.
I tend to like when you read it as green to it, or color to it. Because it is organic, it just reinforces. Now, when you get to this corner, that one flipped over, this one flips.
Oh, that one's right.
Right angle, right inch.
All the way around.
No, not always. If you were doing a cat head basket, you want the corners to point down, then you have to look flat all the way around, because it'll start to form that down corner for you.
If you wanted to make a stronger bottom, use something, this one that's much thicker, that would make the bottom, more, sturdy.
If you can find a consistent set, yes. Because in the same pound of breed, I will find some that is so thin, I will only use it to decorate a basket. So I often go looking for the thicker stuff, yeah, or where you want some strength. If you really want it to be strong, what you do is pick one direction, but probably I would pick the long ones. On the laundry basket I do, it's 15 by 24, and I'm doing 2 layers of breathing sticks on
They
there.
look like this.
Oh,
You gotta figure the bigger the basket, the more weight people are gonna expect it to hold.
Yeah.
Okay. Right there.
On this
It's starting. So.
You got it.
Okay.
It's good, Lisa.
thank you, this tool helps so much. Okay, I know. I'm not gonna. Never, well, I have
Yep.
never had.
That will help more on the rim than it does on the weaving.
Okay, that's good.
This is. That one actually came from there when I was on a mission trip. And that's why it's got such a cool handle.
So turn.
Because, yeah, their stuff is different. Alright, so this one was flip up. This one is flip down,
Okay.
so that you've got these right angle turns. And there you got it, girl.
Yeah, those are- that was right.
Lovely.
Lovely.
So you've got stick
Mine
one,
got-
stick
I didn't
two.
hear it. I know they cut it off right here.
Yes, ma'am. Norma, where are you? Yep. That's right. What this does, no, all of your stakes on the horizontals now are underneath your last reaver. What this does is it reestablishes over under for your ends, as well as keeps a little more space in.
So those were
As you're upset, so your machine is close together.
She was at home. She passed away at home. I'm sure people can do her. And then on.
Now you ready to upset? Remember, you can take a piece of this ring and put it on top of the ones that don't have anything to flip around.
And then.
Right. So your bottom looks like this. And you are ready to upset your stakes. Where's that piece of cord?
Right.
To upset, you're gonna flip over your locking rod.
So
But if there is no locking rod,
so
to flip
then
over,
I got this house. This is all in
it
California.
will make all this line up nice and curvy.
Not knowing if.
So you would do that all the way around your basket.
Down.
You as well, remember, you're at the same point.
And maybe, that's, you know, oh, you have to go out there.
So where do you think you're gonna cut it?
Oh, these ones.
Only two, or should I go?
Two. If you cut it three, you can't get it invisible.
On top.
So this right here, yeah.
Four you can do, but when you upset, you're gonna see a bit
Oh,
of
over there,
bulky
where
spot
you-
on four.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cut it off.
Okay, so I
And
got
this
this.
is not gonna hold all of your groceries, so it doesn't need that extra strength. Right, foot's under. That's great.
Okay.
Turn around. Now pinch it to make it lay flat. Not your stake.
Oh.
Your,
Oh, that was the problem. Okay.
all right, so 1, 2. Cut it.
See, and I would cut it down here.
But, you know, too much can be remedied easily. It beats cutting it too short, and then we have an issue.
Yes, we do. And we have faced that issue, haven't we?
Yeah. We know the fixes. Still has one.
So. And it made.
Yes,
yes,
all the way around.
All the way around, like a picture frame to your weeds.
That's crazy. So. She told me, well, if you can't take over my daughter, if said she'll take her. And
Bringing you all your set of weavers.
I was like, no, of course not. I don't want him. Coming with me, so.
You just
We're
stack
used to
them.
going
One
out
for
in
each.
and out as we please, and now here.
Those are weavers.
These are weavers.
You're ready to upset. Remember, if you don't have a locking row to flip over, take your scrap
Oh, okay.
and flip over your scrap, but we're getting all of these vertical
Right.
or close to.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
So, I ran into a conflict. Okay.
Have clips when you go. You got clips.
And I have these kind of.
Norm always has clips. You have
Yeah.
clips.
I have some, these. Got nothing?
I got all kinds of clips. Oh. Using the Dollar Tree, so I bought those.
I'm changing to Beverly for my show and tell on the weavers. And so your clips, please.
These are too big.
Those might help when you get to the rim, but not for this part.
Let's go.
All right, let me weave right-handed.
Yeah. And then you have to be in the hospital, right? We have to surgery.
Probably, we'll say depending on how the surgery went and how
Yeah.
I respond. Okay. So I am going to begin on a long side. And I just tuck behind 3 or 4 sticks. Probably 4. It'll make it easier for some of you that struggle with starting your weaving. So I put 1 clothespin where I started. Now, when I come around the corner, I'm going to line up my weaver with where the locking row is.
Uh-huh.
And I'm going to go on down. Now, I would like this corner to stand up while I'm weaving around the basket. I don't want it to try to flatten out and end up with too much tension. So I'm going to take 2 from each side and make them face each other. We're going to hug each other like long lost best friends. And that way they stay vertical and hold your corner. So I'm back to this corner. I'm gonna go around the corner, make sure it lines up with that locking row. 2 from here, 2 from here, and hug. Now, what I don't want to see is this, because that flattens out your corners. See how it's bulging out?
Yeah.
When they hug each other, they stay in place. You want me to finish this row for you? I know.
Why not?
Well, some people want that their basket to be entirely their work, and I'll honor that. Some people are, yeah, give me some help, make it easier, fine.
Yeah, things like that. Lisa's so fine.
Water.
If you felt that it was so dry that it's either not staying in place or you think it's gonna crack, then yes, I would spray bottle. We definitely will spray before we cut and tuck at the top, because that may have dried out to O levels. All right, so I'm back to where I started. I want 2 layers on 2 stakes, so that will be stake 1, stake 2. Technical question.
Yeah.
You've got 2 side by side that are red on the end, green here. Would you rather I turn one of these around so you have blue here?
Have to go wrong.
Okay,
Yeah.
I don't mind doing it if. Okay. So I'm gonna cut it here. Make the stake hide the end. Now, we don't start on the same place for 2 rows that are side by side. So this is here, I'm gonna go clockwise 1. And now I'll start the next row. Smooth side out. Get it set. Now I'm ready to release the Kraken. Come around the corner. Line up the corner, and usually if you put a finger on the inside of a corner, as you come around, you will keep it spaced vertically well, but the bigger thing is you won't keep coming in on the corners and get it too tight to work on. So if there's room for my finger there, I'm good. So we're gonna go all the way around and end it on these 2 stakes and then clockwise. Now, some people go, why didn't you do it counterclockwise? You can, but by doing a clockwise turn, you're going to come back to where you overlap that last row and lock it in quicker than you would the other way. Get yours started. All right, those were Bev's. These be yours. You're doing 11 rows of your weavers. It's plain weave over 1, under 1. And you're making a checkerboard pattern out of your colored stakes as you go. Those pins tend to be smaller when they're in place than these are. I think on these corners, you're gonna find these are a little more helpful, so I'll give you some for today. Plus, we're doing a small basket. Sometimes things like that matter when you're doing smaller, just because you don't have as much room to maneuver things. In a larger basket, those would be fine. So coming around the corner, making sure it lines up. And then Clothespins. So is all of this new to you?
Well,
Yeah, what I did before was a whole,
A different kind of basket.
it, you just kind of X in the bottom, and then weave it around.
Well, when I was taught traditional basket making. And instead of this walking row here, they were twine. Well, that's round reed, two pieces being used at the same time. And your stakes are kind of loose doing that. So I like the locking row. It's one and done. And it looks neat when you finish your basket. What I did is I realized I had a little more bubble on the corners than I wanted. Moved it over. Now this shows. So, nope, I'm gonna trim it off. Until it can go behind the stake and not show. See what it did? All right, so turning clockwise, next row will start here. Move side out. And I could unclip this corner right now, but I tend to like to just get this set first. Do one thing at a time.
Oh, no.
You know you have to do this basket just right. It's named after you.
But I made a mistake here. When I got over here, I have two that are,
Yes.
I have to do something about that.
And you gotta follow. Yep, you have to back it up. Because the way it is right now, you've got two overs on two
Oh,
rows.
right.
I was trying to decide, can we just take out the short end, but no. Now, I want to take these apart because
Okay.
you're putting your corners in these. And I want these turned to face each other so they will stand up nice and straight.
That's right.
So you're at the point where these can be tied together.
Hugging, right?
Yeah. Ooh, I haven't seen nice long ones.
Oh, I don't know where the small one came from.
Well, the small one, but I mean, look how long
Right.
those two are.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, it's not a big deal. It's just that it was.
I think you, at least you
Right, so since I took it out, I put it back. So moving across the side. Picture it to your walking row. To here.
Mary pointed out the kitchen's done, but you're still married.
Oh my God. Here you missed the stories.
Oh,
It actually got to where I left town. Said, fine, do it your way.
Yeah, that's what I said. I heard when you said
Yeah.
it's done, I was like, and you're still married.
Yeah. Those gas burners showed up hot and heavy.
so did he decide to cook for you? When it was completely done?
He does not cook. He's proudest of demanding that we have to pass through on the island. Pass through the main island, whatever.
Okay.
But he does not use the kitchen.
That's the part that's so funny.
Like my husband,
I know.
he's like,
But there were things, Mary, like,
just so messy.
I went to do something at Churchill Intermediate School and I came back. I had said to the contractor from the beginning, I want an outlet under the sofa. I came home and they were installing the outlet in the floor under the coffee table. And I said, why? Well, I just thought it'd be more useful there. No, I am running my charging station on the credenza behind the sofa.
Yeah.
I want it behind the sofa. Too late. Why didn't you ask me? Well, you weren't here. I said, but I have a cell phone. So, yeah.
Okay, so now I'm gonna turn this clockwise, which means I'm, whoops, gonna start right here.
No, face it to you.
Oh,
And now clockwise is here.
okay.
So that you go right past your last overlap quickly and lock it.
Okay.
I know.
Remember, smooth side out. How's it coming, Norma?
Okay.
You're going to town, girl.
Not me, I got this all messed up. I had to start over. She went to.
So we don't want a side hug.
Oh, that's right.
We want to kiss.
Kissing, that's right.
Sit. Tend to like putting a clip where you started so you don't pull it off of that steak while you're eating. Let's go back to see where you are. Right here. And now you're ready for these to stand up. So where do you think this one needs, have you already cut it?
I don't have anything.
It's the perfect spot for the overlap. 2 layers on 2 steaks, slide it in, and you're done.
Oh, okay.
So I think you had cut it. And you're good to go. Now, turn this clockwise. Smooth side up. Mary, if you weren't told this before, rows 1 and 2 are like trying to hurt an octopus. Row 3 locks everything into position and things get so much easier and you won't need clips.
So the second row we still flip, right?
Yep.
But we unclip it to.
As you come around and then put it back. Now it is so easy. But I've got so much experience with it.
No.
And if I didn't have that experience, wouldn't this class be hard?
Harder than talking.
I think impossible would have been a better word.
so should I cut this like here and then tuck it in?
You need 2 layers for 2 steaks. You're going to cut it if we had cut it
Ourselves.
Let's get those scissors. Beverly, were you using my scissors as well?
Yeah.
All right, I'll give you another pair. I'll run in those pairs. Right, so this shows, but we know we cut it right. That means swap positions. And there it goes. Okay. So now you're gonna turn it clockwise. Or I'm going to start there, right here. And untie these. Want to pull out a few. Smooth side out. Now come collect your trash, because most of you are in autopilot mode.
Turn.
if you want me to do the first row and get your corners set, I will.
And then hope they skip,
Well, I mean, you all still are novice members. So I don't mind an assist. I'm not gonna make your basket for you,
oh, darn.
but I don't mind an assist. Well, then you'd have to have my name and yours on the bottom for posterity.
Should be in front. I had a little.
You got it.
I had a little.
It's on the floor. All right, so once you've got the tension set, grab the 2 and the 2. Now, hold your tension and your corner. It won't on the first one. Remember, we come back and adjust everything after 3 rows, because then we can actually see what is vertical, what is horse and ranch. Okay, okay. Now you're back to the beginning. What are you gonna do?
Well, because I thought I had this right, and then I couldn't do it. But my second time around. then
Well, it looks good now. Ta-da! So then turn it clockwise.
And Norma's so
So
quiet
that
over here.
you're quick to get to where this is and lock it in place and keep on moving.
Yeah, she's
I think I
experienced.
just learned that.
That's why I usually am.
Where I heard it today.
She always gets that.
Everyone said it at
Alright,
a time or
is-
two.
I'm gonna be asking, or taking the survey, I guess. Those who want to just leave their dyed reed as checkers versus who wants the ladder, because you're gonna need an extra piece of dyed reed to make a ladder. So who wants to leave it as checkers only?
I want the ladder.
The ladder isn't hard if you're thinking that's too complicated. It really isn't. Well, she laughed as she raised her hand.
It did sound better.
I'm gonna leave you the option. Because I really think once you see it, oh, that's all there is to it. Looks nice, Norma. Here, let me mangle the corners for you. All right, Norma's basket is halfway up. Wow.
Oh, beautiful.
Her corners are rounding, which I don't mind if they do, but she was trying to get them to square. Remember, they're damp and they're malleable. So all I'm gonna do is give them a pinch. And she's back to having it squared again. Well done, Norma.
Now I cut this off right here and cut it right.
You see it's rocking?
Yeah, I feel like I always pull it too tight.
Well, if you
Yeah.
push it over your knee, that usually gets your tension where it sits a little better. If not, then you know how to block it.
That's what I do.
You see where you started? No. You started here, so this is step 1, step 2, so cut it right here. Fear not, Beth. All you have to do is change
Right there.
from top to bottom. And change her name satisfied.
And so now,
Look at the bottom. And make top. Right. I'm gonna pull out several for you. You probably don't want all of them because they will wander all over the table. And the floor. I think the traditional baskets did the crowfoot to the bottom, so you did not see them when they're on the inside. I have found that baskets that are done that way are the first ones that will snag on something and pull the crowfoot out or even break it off. So I don't crowfoot to the outside of the basket very often. You're more likely to see crowfoot to the inside where it's not going to get pulled and snagged. You did. It should be cut to the far side of number 2. So we can either put an extra piece of reed in there, or we can use the 4-letter word. Oh, Mary doesn't know. Basket purists feel that everything needs to be tucked and tied properly to stay in shape. Those of us who think function matters more, blue is a 4-letter word that I am willing to use. So either we put a new piece in, we tuck it here and bring it all the way across. Aha.
Did you motion here, so you want to say the 4-letter word?
Yes. I guess.
So
What were we doing the other day? And somebody, oh, the bow making. I said, oh, we need blue on this. And she went, that's a 4-letter word.
okay,
Then I went home and my daughter said,
ain't just me, huh?
you made these separately? Where's the Bodowander? I said, the who? Oh. She goes in the other room, she pulls it out, she goes, here, this holds the bow.
Oh,
So you don't have to hold it with your fingers. And then
wouldn't that have been nice?
I said, do you ever use glue on your bows? She went, no. Yeah, she went, mother. Too funny. She came yesterday. How many bows did you make?
All right, so Teresa, what we need, these butt up together.
Right. Mhm.
And this now is gonna go from this stake to this stake.
Right.
Oh, you need to learn the mantra, 2 layers on 2 stakes. No, 2 layers on 2 stakes.
Okay. That makes sense.
It might be out.
I don't get that much mail.
Oh, well, mine's probably gonna end up holding my boy's pocket.
Well, it's okay. You know. Thank you.
I started right there.
Yeah, 2 layers with 2 stakes. No. Pencil. Pencil with 1 ray. This is 2 layers on 1, 2 layers on 2. You cut it on the far side. When this is in front, when you're done, in these two positions, then it's where it needs to be.
Norma, how are your hands today?
So far, so good. I'm
I
pretty
mean,
bright.
yeah, look how far along she is.
Good.
That's an indicator.
It stopped raining. That was probably a help.
Oh, no, I wake up in the morning with them and they go numb, and I think, what has happened to my hands?
I took my youngest grandson on a road trip. We went to Cumberland Mountain for a few days. You know what last week was like. So I told him we're going to geocache all the way to Knoxville, and then we'll be on the interstate up to the mountain. He's decided he likes geocaching, but not in the rain. But we didn't have a choice. We're coming home a different way. Yes. And where you don't see it. Pull it over a little more. And then let's put it on it. Just so you don't pull it out of position as you go. And after this row, you don't need the clips anymore. Your stakes will hold themselves up.
Okay, so here.
We never got to kayak, so hold the kayak up there.
Okay, here.
Yeah. So you want, I'll bring it to the outside here.
Okay.
you want 2 layers on 2 stakes. Cut it on the far side of stake number 2. And then it will slide behind that and disappear. Once you've done that, let me have your basket. I want to pack it for you. You need to get rid of the gaps. Oh, I said I'd bring more.
We don't need to cut it very often.
Anyone else that needs to borrow a pair of the basket shears?
Where did you say it's 500? Okay, could you go over this one more time?
Just a minute, Lisa.
Okay.
Oh, So this is where you started.
Right.
So you want 2 layers of stakes. So you want
The end of this one?
Yes.
We're gonna sit
You
down
want
with
to
this.
let this.
What I'm doing is just pulling all of your
That's
weaving down, getting rid of
So
the
why
wires
is
in it.
the other one's way too short? It's just beyond me. Never mind, thank you.
Shout out to Brendan Rutledge, because she may be watching this.
Ooh,
Good morning, Brendan. All right, Beverly, when you came around here, we're in front of 1, 2, 3. The fix is pull this stake out. Go around without breaking it. It's going to go over one, under one, over one. And gently pull it up. Easy fix.
yeah, I guess so.
All right, so we're going to continue to pull all the rows down.
Those boys need a reward for wrestling 133.
The reward is bragging rights.
It's like, oh,
All right, Beverly, as you weave in row 4, you should not need to put your corner stakes anymore. They should hold themselves up on their own.
where do we start this?
All right, where did we stop that last row?
Right here, right here.
Okay, so when you're looking at the bottom, it goes clockwise. You finish that row, let me have it back. Do you want your basket to oval at the top, or do you want it to stay square?
Stay square.
Okay, let me have it after that row and let me kind of mangle it back into square corners.
I'm gonna put under the end of this one over here,
Okay, or you tie that one off, or you just like that.
right there.
Oh, you're saying if you could, no, you got it, your finger in, your corners will line up right. These are starting to pull.
Oh, got it. That's what I'm doing.
Okay, so I'm backing this out while you're still working on this row. Right. Two layers and 2 staples.
I've only been to 12 classes, so I wouldn't.
We'll just zip around it right now and show you. So
Right.
just give it a pinch. Corners. All right. Rounding on the bottom. I'm just giving it a nudge to stay the way we told it to start. So that it'll sit flat on the table. Okay. At any time, if you need to stretch for the bathroom or a water break, go ahead. We're on autopilot till we get to the rim. You're weaving 11 rows of natural. And I'm gonna come raid your rim packets. And I'll be getting these. I'm gonna start with the rim row. And that will be row 12. Norma, I tagged the rim row so that if you end up wanting to rim yours at home,
Okay.
you knew which was the lasher and which was.
This is,
This is
yeah, that's it for that key.
Let me just get this out of the way. We had 8 signed up for the class, only 5 came. Means if anybody wants an extra kit today, there's some available.
And we can take you home free afternoon.
You can come to my house next week when I'm recovering from surgery and we'll have to be sitting my tail end at home anyway.
I'm just saying.
I am too. I've had all kinds of people come. I've got a screened-in porch that runs the width of the house that faces woods and flowers and things. And I have had more weeding parties on the porch than I can remember. You're welcome to come sit on the porch. We can break out a little beverage and see what kind of new basket you design then. I did bring the 1/2-inch colored. You're doing 11 rows. That means, well, Norma's passed it. If you wanted a row of color in the middle to go around it, you would like that?
Oh, it doesn't matter, whatever you want me to do.
I can make it happen on your basket if you want that.
Whatever you want me to do, then I'll do.
Hey, honey, I'm not the one keeping the basket. You are. It needs to be whatever you would like it to be.
And sometimes I don't know till I do it, whether I like it or not.
I think if you're going to do the laddered front, that having a
That's
band
all.
go around the basket would just look a little out of place. Yeah. Which is why I probably didn't say anything sooner. But Mary, you said you weren't gonna ladder yours, so you have a choice if you want to put a little color as a weaver. I've never done that ladder design on a basket before. I kind of happened upon it while playing with possibilities. So you may see this show up in another basket. I think it's kind of cool. Had it been a 1/2-inch one going all the way across, what you would have is big band dot, big band dot. So that can happen if you want as well. That piece of wire, show you what I mean. So that that's with the wide coming across instead of.
Has a little bit of the natural.
I do too. So if you would rather replace the narrow ladder with having the wide band and then the dot, I can make that happen.
Did you
Norma?
invent this?
It can be, I can give you a piece of the wide and it could be the bolder line across, or your kit is for the narrower one across.
I like narrow.
Lisa, your question was?
Did you invent this way of doing this?
No,
I mean, like, did you all of a sudden come across that thin and thicker part and say, oh, we can do this?
yes.
Oh, That's pretty cool.
They say there is nothing that can be woven now that hasn't been woven in the past. Nothing's new, it's just rediscovered. And since I tend to design baskets as I go instead of follow somebody else's pattern, yeah, there are a lot of, ooh, try this. Yes, but there are also some, ooh, try this. Oh, no. All right, madam,
Oh, no,
done it again and again.
not just one. Oh, I know. Those are too short. I don't understand.
2 layers go across 2 stakes. You're cutting it on the wrong side of stake number 2. It's not coming across it. You did 2 layers here and then you cut it.
Okay,
But it needs to be 2 here, 2 here, then cut.
okay,
So
I think
let's-
I can fix it.
Okay,
My-
go ahead and fix this one first. It's going to be easier for you to reach. And
Okay.
then if that's successful, go back to the row below it. Cut the 2 ends so they butt up first.
Oh, okay. Oh, the two,
Yeah.
oh,
You need
okay,
to do this, Lisa.
right, okay.
That way they're laying flat and you don't have
Right.
3 layers that makes a bulge.
So after this one, right, just draw a line right here, if it starts right here, draw a line.
All right, first thing I'm gonna do is see how this shifted over.
No, you did not.
Let's get that to
No,
line
you
up.
did not.
Yeah.
I just put
And
it in
now, yes,
one
you
place.
cut it here.
because I don't,
You got it.
and now I cut it too short. She's gonna kill me. I think I have to go to the bathroom now.
I have never banned someone from my classes. So far, you're safe.
I'm pretty sure she hasn't killed anybody yet either. Okay.
I'm not telling.
They would not allow her to see.
When we
the center.
get to the handle, if you intend to hang this on a wall, your handle will need to go on the back side of your basket so that the nail can reach it. Otherwise, you need like a 2-inch nail to hang it on.
Yeah, I think I messed up somewhere.
You're behind 2 right there.
Right here.
Yep, behind the colored and the natural right there. You see behind 2?
Yeah, I see it.
Okay. Can catch. Anytime one row does the same thing as the row below it, yeah, there's a bad refill. No, it's fine. Oh, you're back in sync. Now keep your fingers in that corner as you come around it. Now in the corner itself.
Right here.
Oh,
Oh, like
this
that.
is your corner.
Okay.
And your corner is pulling in. So always keep a finger's worth of space. You can get ahead a little bit and then come back and check it. You always want a finger's worth of space. Otherwise, not only will your corners come in, but you'll end up getting so tight you can't pack these. Yep, that's exactly it.
You told me
Do a
to
little
write it.
claw
I
foot
just did it.
grab on
And
it.
you weren't listening, is that what you're saying?
No, what I was doing
You
was
want yours
putting
to
it on
stay
the
square,
other,
Bev, or
it
do
was
you want it
the
to
other
over?
side that was the over two.
If you want it to stay square, after you do this row, let me have it, and
Oh,
I'm going to pinch corners for you. Really, on this design, it doesn't matter if it stays square or if it goes oval, because we're still gonna have flat on the front, flat on the back. It's just what your ends do.
This looks good.
Okay. Pick what you want, we can make it happen. Unless you want it stained. I get mine stained.
I do believe I fixed them honorably.
Yeah. Your biggest issue is confidence. really, you know when something's wrong, you pretty much know what it needs to get fixed. Even your overlaps, you know what it needs to get fixed. Now, as you come around these corners, remember to check that you've got a finger's worth of space at the corner. You don't want them coming in. Same thing there.
You talking to someone who just got a 2 manual organ and doesn't know how to play it.
Well, I have a $4,000 oven, and I'm not sure how to use it.
Where'd you get a wolf?
No, it's, gonna come to me in a minute, but it's convection,
Oh.
and it's a huge, no. I'm thinking M word and. But,
The Maytag, you didn't get a Maytag.
I got freezer's made, all right, the oven's some, I'll check a picture. It's got a huge oven. The light on it is like the parking lot at Big Lots at night. I know, I can watch what's cooking perfectly, but it's an oven microwave, and both of them are convection oven.
Nice.
So, well, I told my husband what I want is a full oven, a half oven, and a microwave. When the whole family's there for holidays and get-togethers, I can't fit 6 things in the oven at one time. So how about help me out here?
So we kept this one.
The timer on it goes beep, beep, beep. So I'm having to get out my 30-year-old old-timey clunky kitchen timer. If I'm gonna leave the room, I'll say just wait. And I think that's a start. So 2 layers on 1, 2, and you can cut it here. And then it goes behind where you started to disappear. Now, we didn't pay that the oven. It was dented on the back corner and we got a really good discount on it.
Wow.
And my husband said, I can fix that. And I said, don't, because it's still under warranty.
Right.
So we get it home. The first thing he does is fix the dent. See, it's perfect now. And I said, you just killed the warranty. Oh my gosh.
Of course he did.
Yeah, between the Aspergers and he was a mechanical engineer, he couldn't stand the thought of the dent.
Yeah.
But I have not learned the convection controls or adaptation on how long to cook something if it's convection. I may do that next week while I'm laid up.
Okay, where did I end up? Here.
Yeah. Keep your rows pushed down, no gaps between. It'll not only look better, but it'll be stronger. Norma's not waiting till it's rimmed to do her ladder. She's got her ladder going on the front now. I don't care a bit.
Oh, well, I just started working on it.
Mhm.
That's the only thing to do.
Now, did I
Or
not
did I
give you
do it
a
right?
rim row?
No, you haven't given me anything yet.
Fine, be that way. I'll bring you every piece.
So she's over there just making up stuff to do.
That's right.
Your rim row is row 12. And normally you will want to either dunk in the sink or spray your tops before you
Yeah.
bend them. Make sure they're damp enough to bend the way we want them to. Lisa's basket is 2/3 of the way up. Mary's basket is more than halfway.
Mine's not.
Oh, flying. Well, you're halfway up, Bev. You're row 5, aren't you? No, you're row 6. You're halfway up. The real test is looking at it. It's not right in your face. See? Coming right along.
Okay. Gotta make sure I didn't make a mistake in the second row.
No, that
Here
one's
all-
stuck. That one's stuck well.
We'll be here all afternoon, you know.
Well, I didn't have plans for dinner anyway. Wanted to make an omelet so bad last night, but I was using up bacon. And I thought bacon and cheese, and I just wish I had one potato that I could grate and use as part of the filling in it. Turned out my husband would rather have a salad, so. I got bacon from Yoder's Market, the Amish store that's out in Bulls Gap. This was maple cured. I always like market sliced bacon anyway, because my husband loves BLTs. He really needs bacon to be a hefty part of that sandwich. That was not only good bacon, but it cooked so clean that I kept the drippings. There were no bits and pieces charred in the bottom of the pan. I'm impressed.
Have you ever bought it at their sale?
No,
They have a sale.
the Saturday, well,
When,
that's Troyer's, isn't it?
yeah, for Wednesdays. No,
Okay.
not every Wednesday.
Okay.
You have to call. And last time they sold it for $35 for 10 pounds.
Woo. I was thinking 10 pounds for 1 pound of bacon, or $10 is kind of steep. And then I went and thought, honey, you got 6, 8 BLTs out of that package of bacon.
Wow.
That makes the bacon a reasonable price.
Yeah. Somebody cut it off right here.
I see where you're at, sorry. Where do you want to cut it?
Oh, they cut it right here.
Yes. What, Norma, you look confused?
No, I was just looking to see if I needed to add one up here. I do. Okay, that's what I thought when I was putting this on there.
Mine goes
This is my 11th row.
Mine goes all the way. You can leave the top and the bottom empty because that's symmetrical. Yeah, you did your bottom one, you need to do that top one.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
I'm on my 11th row. Keep
Yay!
going.
Yep. Well, 13. This says 13. Why do I think it was 11? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13. Go to your out of your weavers.
We gave us 13 things.
Oh,
That was my bad, so I'll replace it for you.
no, that's all right.
2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12.
It doesn't have to be any
All right,
taller.
you've got the height.
You don't need any taller. I don't need any taller than that. It's fine.
But what it does,
It's on that off. No, when I add that, it'll be all right.
but see, this has one blank
Yeah, I
under it,
know it.
and this one won't have the one blank. So I'm gonna take this out. And drop it down to the 13. That's
Oh,
part of why it was an odd number.
okay. I see what you're saying.
Did you overlap 4?
Mhm.
Or there too now, and it won't matter.
Cause I usually pull that rim rolling and then it pulls out and I get mad. When I go to that.
All right,
Okay.
let's wet these before you bend them.
Oh, you and I might get on special ed today.
All right, let me back up for those that are on. The ones that are on the outside of that top row are gonna get
Poor
bent
Beverly,
in
last time she and I,
all the way around.
we struggled.
And then the ones that are still standing up
No, we just really struggled with that
get
one.
cut off level with your weaving. And I fold all of them before I cut, instead of, well, I'm gonna cut this and this and this. You usually end up cutting the wrong one at some
No.
point, so I always fold before I cut. Okay? And you're moving right along. If you need to sand your handles, let me know. I brought sandpaper. If they're good the way they are, which mine were, then we're fine with go with what you got. Well, you only need one handle, nobody else sat with you. So you can see like that. Bundle up. Wrapping sandpaper.
Sorry, postal collection. Look at this here. Where'd that go? I don't know. We have at least 3 different.
And I had some really small ones. I don't know where those came from. Right, but then I have these.
We're gonna start a postal collection. Look at this one.
I always decorate mine, but that's pretty cool. Never seen any like that.
Yeah, I never have either.
Always decorate mine with a little stripe of magic markers so you can tell mine from everybody else who had the same thing. Otherwise, you show up with 12 and go home with 9. Had a bird on it, Norman. I've sanded it down. You know, if you think it needs more. About where we need to be. Most of you are on your last rows and we're getting ready to rim. Alright, I'm gonna take apart your rim sets and taper one end of your outside rim. Which y'all don't seem to need to be much at this point. Lisa, did I share how to make your sandpaper sturdy too last time?
No,
Because on these round handles, sanding them, your paper wants to tear and split and do ugly things. Duct tape on the back,
ooh,
Norma. Duct tape on the back of your sandpaper means it won't split and rip as fast.
Oh, okay. I wasn't paying any attention.
What a smart idea.
I'm bringing everyone their lasher back.
Yeah. Yeah.
13, I believe.
Oh.
4, 6, 8, 10, 12,
I didn't know what
15.
you was talking about. maybe.
Or check your pattern.
Wait until about 12:30.
Oh, I
Mary
don't
Don't
have-
Laugh, this group is notorious for, I didn't look at the
I
pattern.
only
so
have
was ready to go
12.
home.
Okay.
Oh, sorry,
Just
one more to
keep that
do.
nice to that, but I'll
We only have
tell
12.
Candy what I did.
Yes.
It's
And
in
then
the
your
back
rim
seat
row-
in the
rim
back.
row will be
Just bring it
13.
in and, okay. bye.
I'm sorry.
I think this says. It's plainly, there's someone's being one row. So 13 and then one.
Yeah, it is. All right, I'll fix it. I'll fix it.
Wait, so we should, on the pattern, it should say 12 and then one.
Should say 13 in your rim row.
Okay, that's good. The pattern.
Your rim row is 3/8, it's not half inch, so I do need to change that.
Oh, so we don't use this last piece.
You're
of-
doing 13 rows of the half inch
Oh.
and then your rim row.
Okay.
Mary, if we take this outside rim that's thicker and we overlap it, it looks kind of chunky. So what we need to do is taper down where these are gonna overlap so that they end up being the same width as everything else. So I am using this handy dandy trim plane to just shave down the end you're gonna start with. When we get to where yours is going to end, then I'll take it from you and shave down the other end as well. Then when they overlap, they're not chunky and they're even making a bulge. Yep. So the rim, and I'm gonna put a lasher with it.
Hey Candy, can you explain what you're doing right there?
Yes, ma'am, I thought I explained it.
We
Our
couldn't hear it.
bead is gonna overlap on the outside, and this is thicker than what they've been weaving with. I've got to taper it down so that the overlap won't be as bulky. So I'm using a little trim plane and just shaving the top off so that the overlaps will be thinner. And Diane's paying attention too.
Good.
Shout out to Diane.
I know, I was like, who is that? Is that you, God?
If God has to speak to me, he won't be that polite about it.
Where does your granddaughter live?
In California,
Whereabouts?
in Temecula, Southern California.
Oh, yeah, I know where that is. Yeah, we lived down in that area one time.
Wine country, right?
Well, it didn't used to,
It is
but it
now,
sure is
yeah.
now. That's where my granddaughter got married. And when I lived down there, that was nothing out there.
Well, every city has got major sprawl going on.
Yeah.
Sure changed a lot. We lived in Columbia, South Carolina before we moved here. And now Columbia feels like Charlotte, Charlotte feels like Atlanta. Atlanta's just hell on wheels, literally.
Sons that got married in the fall in Korea, he and his wife were coming on a visit, so.
Yay!
Wow.
How long will it be on leave?
Well, this one is, actually, he's a teacher, so he's on their break but so his wife is coming for 2 weeks and then he's gonna stay for 2 more weeks.
Okay.
So, and then I'll have 3 of my 4 kids. The one that's in the Marines is stationed in Japan, they won't make it, but then the other California son, brother is coming for a visit, so I'll have 3 out of 4, which I'll take, because it's hard to get all together. Are we supposed to do the ladder thing before we do?
Nope,
Doesn't matter when we're.
it's not. I actually did it at the end of making my basket.
So, I have to make sure that we're checking into the.
Second row down. You're gonna go over one, under one. Does that sound familiar?
It does. Heard it before.
The last time was not to cut this too long because it's impossible. Short one. So you won't see them.
Oh, is this room?
What I do is put my mark at the bottom of the second row and I cut it so that I cut the mark off. It usually works out just right. And then, so, at the bottom, row, second row weaving. That's what we're talking about. So I will draw a line right there at the bottom of that row. And if I cut it right here so that that falls off, then I've got it the right line. Now, I would go ahead and cut these tall buggers because they're in your way of tucking. You'll have a lot more room tucking if these guys are gone. So we're gonna cut it off right there, level with the weaving. All of what I call the soldiers, the ones that are left standing at attention.
That'll make it like you.
Yes.
Work harder, work smarter, not harder.
Right.
Okay, Candy.
Get the decent treat.
Yeah, it made a big. I've gotten over and under me.
Just going around, packing down where you've got spaces showing, making sure that your stakes are still standing straight up, if they didn't start leaning. This is the time to put all those corrections in. One rows down. Stakes over.
Now,
Now, this one,
Yeah, the ones.
needs to go
This
outside.
way. Okay.
with that and everything, slide it in.
Right now.
That goes right across the issue.
Yeah, I was off. I thought.
Yep, you've gone on the outside of 3 in a row instead
Yeah.
of 1.
Yeah.
So the fix on it was pretty easy. The fix was just, okay, let's take that one stake that's still wet
And we're
enough to
cutting these
bend
big long
nicely.
ones. That's a little
See
place
where
there.
it falls here?
Do I want to cut it?
Pull
Move
this.
that one back.
Tension out. Do what I call walking it around. Take that extra reed that you had there. Pull it all the way around. Now we're gonna recut this. Now, when I did that, it did leave a little bit of the dye green smudge on your natural. The fix is a Q-tip in Tilex or Clorox, just touch that and it will fade it. You're good. That was an easy fix
Oh,
too.
yeah.
You keep making easy mistakes.
I do have it.
Oh, you do have the option of no handle on this if you want. But mail baskets traditionally have a little handle on that. It is now safe to cut your verticals because you know which ones are going to get touched. Yep. Would you rather use these?
Yes, please.
Feel free. Alright, so your rim row is your extra.
I think we should have made it different.
It is, but it's not as wide. What we've been weaving with is 1/2 inch flat. And what you're using for that last row is 3/8 inch flat. Reed is called by its measurement. So flat reed is what's the width, and round reed, there's a gauge for numbers 1 through 9 or 10.
One being the thinnest.
Yes. I actually got some that's 00. But that's for decorative purposes. It has no strength of its own. All right, cool. Which one's gonna be the front?
I don't know.
Yes.
Okay. Norma's gotten
Oh.
creative too.
She has.
Well, that was just the
I have
scraps
the
from-
reed here. If you like doing X's, I can give you the reed to do X's instead of the ladder going up your basket.
I just had those when I did scraps from the others.
Okay. Coming for the surplus.
One more row.
Norma, if you don't mind, before you go, let me get a picture of the X's.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't have enough. I just did that one. Is that good enough or you want me to do them all?
No, you do you.
I usually just do one.
If you want more, I did bring it with
But I
me.
usually put a piece across. And that's a little wide when I do that X on a,
Well, if you did the next X is going up, what you're gonna end up with is X dot, X dot, X. The way that stacks up.
so.
Which is kind of cool. See, there's so many things that you can do with this stuff to make it your own.
It would be a bicycle bat.
It would.
It's perfect. Perfect one. I didn't have to cut.
How often does that happen? Alright, so let me spray it with water, make sure that these at the top are gonna be willing to bend over without cracking or giving us grief. At least only be your second basket, you've done well. Gonna give this a minute or two to soak in. Yeah, that one wanted to crack a little. Just give it a moment to let the water soak in and do that.
That's okay. Okay, I've done 13. I gotta be ready.
It's your next go.
And we just do the same thing.
Yes. It's just that that's a narrower road. Yes. You're gonna do the outside rim first, so decide which side of your basket is the front.
They have all three.
Right, then you're gonna start your outside read on the back. You're gonna overlap the three diagonals. So put it here.
No, we're gonna do that.
That was good. That guy was really good.
Oh, I'm sorry. This is the side you put that here. Oh, you want me to? Yeah. Yeah. What it looks like, I mean, that's my fault.
They're doing now.
What they gonna do?
Oh, no.
Do we rim it before we put our handle in?
What happened there, Bev? Back it up to the corner. Tell me what happened. But how? There you go. You were in front of two.
Yeah,
That's the fix.
thank you.
Sorry, Mary, don't leave it on the table to your left.
Oh, you're good.
Do these gently so I don't skim across the table. It makes me look like I'm fighting. All right, Mary. Just ready to fit.
We are worried about.
When we do the inside read. Just pin that around, yep.
That would be for
Now, the inside ones are gonna get cut off. So once you've gone around and done this, the ones that are still sticking up, get cut flush with the reed. Do all your bends first, so that you know that what you're cutting are truly the ones we don't need.
I can cut all of
Don't bend, no, the bent ones get left alone.
them. Okay.
The ones that are still standing up at attention are ones that get mowed down. And get the sticking head up, right? Was your other basket traditional rim? Was your first basket?
It was a bowl and then at the end, you kind of just took what was sticking up and weaved it in.
Matchbox. This one's gonna be totally different. This goes all the way along here.
What I do now?
Add yourself on the back.
Yeah, thank you.
Wet these down. Make sure that when you bend them, they're not gonna crack and break. They're gonna behave themselves. I'm
Yes.
gonna sit down with it, make sure we have one last round of get all of the rows tight together. Because once you have folded these babies, you're committed.
Okay. And then you put this one and this one. Okay.
Looks good, Bev. You're getting better with every basket.
Oh, okay.
see how much room I'm packing down?
Oh, those are fine.
Right, one's on the outside, bend over. One's on the inside. We're gonna get cut flush with your weaving. I'm checking something, so I'm doing all of these bend overs for you. For some reason, I've got one that's too short to tuck. It got pulled more to one side than the other on the beginning. We're going to use the 4-letter word on this one. You didn't see me do it. You don't know that I do that.
Right, no. But I just heard that come out of your mouth.
Cut all the ones that are still standing upright,
Kind of right. Yeah, there.
level with the top of your basket. Watch this, because here's the same point, Mary Alice. What I want to do is tuck this behind the second weaver, because they're rim route, either one weaver two, this is where it's going to get tucked and disappear. So I'm putting a mark at the bottom of that second row.
Great.
Okay, and I'm going to cut it so that I cut off my pencil line, which means it's not going to stick out below that when I tuck it in. So now I'm going to just gently pull this in and tuck, and it's invisible. You're good.
I think I'm ready for the handle.
All right, Norma, let me taper that end for you. Right, Norma has her inside rim in place, so I'm going to use her as show and tell for what to do with your handle.
Oh, good. Oh.
Chicken feet look on the inside. I just think I like that look.
Yeah.
And who would think you could split it that way? Yeah, it's not something new. You have any?
I was on it, take those close. I just think got to make,
I
yeah.
think what I'll do is put a zip tie where you're outside, or a twist tie on the outside where it overlaps. Just, you're right. If I get that out of the way, you'll understand what I'm doing with the handle.
Okay, that's fine.
The grandchildren, you will hear on midnight rides. Right, so I'm going to center the handle on the back of the basket. And what I'm going to do is I know that these notches need to be in my rim. The rim is going to run across like this.
Is this her front of her basket?
No,
That's the back. She laddered the front. She played with the back.
I just had those scraps.
So now I'm going to look on the inside and see where is the bottom of the handle. Now your ex is in my way, girlfriend.
Oh, well, take it out.
I'm not, I'm working around it.
Oh, okay.
There's always a fix. I want to anchor the bottom of the handle in a row of weaving. And it's easier to do near the bottom of your handle because it gets wide so fast, you don't want it to make a big divot in your basket. So that's tucked in, so the bottom is anchored. Now I'm going to come to the handle and I'm going to pinch it come around the handle and move on. If you just go straight across, there's a good chance that over time it will come loose a little bit and the handle will rise up right out of it. All right, so do that and you keep going. Now, when you go to run your rim filler on this, the piece that goes between your inside and outside rim is a piece of seagrass. When you run this, you begin.
Let me get.
Yeah. You're gonna begin at the handle. We don't want to run behind the handle and make this even bulkier than it is. So what I'm gonna do is butt it up right against the handle. So you can see it. I butted it up against the handle. And you're gonna go all the way around to the other side of the handle and stop out here. Then you're gonna cut a different piece to fit between the two sides of your handle. So that what you end up with, make sure it shows the lashing, pull this out a little bit, but it lays flat with the handle instead of running behind it and making it bulkier.
I started to say you trim both sides of my handle. See, I put the, when you trimmed on the inside.
I overlap both
Oh, do you?
both narrows so that you end up with a width that is comparable to the rest of your basket.
Smart girl. That's all. Well, I've never done that.
I need mine shaped also.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, you're very welcome. Do, 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 do. Where did my scissors end up? I
Right
keep
here.
grabbing, I think those are Mary's. Those are Mary's.
Oh, they are. I don't know.
They'll show up when we clean up. Oh, sorry about that.
Oh, no, I didn't think I'm not.
That was my fee. I charged 2 clothespins for doing your tape.
Oh, is that it? Okay.
But yes, Norma, I do both ends of this outside rim.
Uh-huh.
When you lay them on top of each other.
Well, see, I do the
That's-
inside instead of the
Right.
outside. is what
When
I'm
you do
saying.
both, it stays the same width all the way across your basket.
So that's.
Makes sense.
Does it matter on the inside of where we start and end it?
I tend to start and end it at the front because nobody's really gonna see that when you finish your basket. Nobody looks to the inside much. You just need at least a 2 stake overlap. If you do it on an end, fine, but I would not do it at the handle. Just because the handle's got enough going on. Well, you can shift it over and make your overlap on one end. All right, what was I doing, Lisa?
You were
Just the
shaving
overlap?
to overlap.
Lisa has a funky clothespin. Look at the tip.
I don't know where that came from.
Oh, that's mine.
Oh, right.
Okay. Mary has a funky.
Winky one. What?
But it's pretty strong, that little one.
It's not bad either. All right, so you will start your inside row on the opposite side
Okay.
and your handle goes back here. Do you understand where to place your handle?
No, I didn't understand how to get it in there. Sorry.
This comes to a point.
Right.
So I want to catch just the point in the weaving. If we catch it up here, you end up making a divot in that row of weaving, which looks kind of ugly. So I'm going to sight this up with where my rim is. My rim's going to hold it right here. So now where is the bottom of the handle? So the bottom of the handle is going to be at an open area, so I back up to here.
Okay, so you make it a little higher.
Now, before I do that,
No, just glue, it's fine.
It just needs to be pulled over. You just didn't bring it over enough to tuck. There's enough length to it.
Oh, okay. That's a positive.
Yeah. So cooperate, I guess. We have your packet. That's an all.
Okay. Got it.
Uh-oh. That sounds like she's flustered. You are popular today, girlfriend.
I gotta take this.
Okay.
Hello. Okay, I'm a basket class. No, tell me what you need. Why? Oh, really? We gotta discuss that. When I get home, I'll call you. Thanks. Okay, bye. Oh dear.
It sounds like a teenager.
Can I answer that?
Okay. So that's, the rim will sit here.
Mhm.
That's the row where you're gonna anchor the handle in.
Okay,
And you're going to start your inside rim here.
okay, so this piece is gonna go starting here, and I'm gonna,
It's on the inside. So it's,
right,
and when you come here, you just
go right.
bend it tight,
Ah,
snug to your handle. And if you want to be adding your reed, your rim filler, if you want to add your rim filler as you bend these
Mhm.
and get them started, then go ahead and zip tie them while you're there. Because you really need that to bend tight against your handle coming around the inside rim. That's what your handle is going to pull on if you pick it up by the handle. So you take this, decide which side you want as your front. You did. All right. I'm going to want these to overlap across the color bar, so I'm going to start it here. For the rest of your pieces. Oh, these ones I didn't see. So you're just going to wrap it tightly around the outside all the way. When you get it back to where it began, hand it back to me, and I will take the other end of the overlap. This is the one that was too short. If you need a four-letter word, there's an ad for Loctite gel. Part of why I like this one is even if your reed is damp, it will hold. Super glue won't. Super glue will run all over. And then if you stain your basket, you know where the super glue was because the stain won't soak. So Loctite gel. Ta-da. I buy these like 4 at a time.
I don't know who these people are. Well, you know, the problem is I put my car on for sale.
Oh.
Hello?
Just
Yeah, that'll do it.
put the phone on silent and let it go to
Yes.
voicemail.
What did
All
you
right,
know about it?
so here's your outside
I
You
just
want
had a little
blue
converter put on it.
or the
about a
green
month
to be
ago.
your front side.
It had a little- That was the only thing. That's the only thing. That was one.
Start here.
It just got stopped up and we never put a new one on, so. They can't take it off.
Sure, I love those. Now, with this
That is hard.
brand of clip, these The tips tend to fall off, but they can be put back on with that 4-letter word. Because the tip keeps the metal from gouging, and over time, the metal will rust a little. And it'll keep rust from rubbing off on your feet. So just watch the tips. Roll back as you move. So I want this to overlap 3 stakes, the 3 colored ones, 1, 2, 3. So I'm cutting this off here. See how that lined up? Now I'm going to finger this in so that 2 tapers overlap and make this nice, neat transition. Mary, I tend to just shave the corners a little. Over time, this may come loose a little bit. And if this shifts, you don't really want to see a corner sticking up. So I just shave it down slightly. All right, your handle.
Your stuff's all coming over here.
Your handle's gonna line up where the notch needs to be at the bottom of the rim. The rim's gonna be right here.
Oh, okay.
See that? So now I wanna look at, well, where's the bottom of your handle hit a row that tucked behind? It's gonna be this row. Well, fortunately, that's where your overlap is. It gives us a little bit of give there, more than everybody else had. This is, I'm trying to keep the shape of the handle, so it's going to be to the outside. That brought your overlap to breaking point. So the inside. Actually, use a little bit of work to make sure that in the future it doesn't decide to pop open anymore. Back door next. Yeah, that doesn't, the other thing I like super glue,
Okay.
it does, but it's a gel, so it doesn't run crazy like super glue does. It's not gonna
And
glue it
inside, this inside. So
once
if
in a
you
while,
want
but
to
for the most part, no. It comes out slow enough to control where it goes. So it
Well, that's
doesn't
what I
have
want
to
you to
run
do,
all
is
the
take
way
it down the
down.
line, you don't have any.
Oh, okay,
Because
that's the beauty of
I've got to
the
go,
gel.
I've got to go to the bathroom.
Yeah,
Well,
because
she
your
put it where
overlap
you
was
were
there,
going
and
down.
overlap was actually very generous. I'm pulling some of the overlap from one side around to the other side. And that's gonna make sure, see, that it goes all the way across here. And the blue is just insurance, and I would put a little bit on. So now, you see what it takes to do that. That's at the rim and that's at the rim, so that's where it holds. And it does make a little bit of a divot, but it's at the back of your basket, so it's forgiven. Now your inside rim, you start on the opposite side. I do it right-handed. Keep reminding myself. Alright, so it's gonna go all the way around. When you get to the rim, you're gonna bend things until it holds very tightly to the handle. Crossing around and back here, you're gonna cut it right about there, 2 stick overlap on the inside. Right? So your handle is next. Okay, I think it's gotta get staged first, right? You can. that's in place. Oh, I didn't ask. Is there anybody that wants their handle on the outside of the basket? We're gonna do the same thing we're doing on the inside, we're just doing it on the other side of that wall. Okay.
Not too bad. How are you doing? Well, you're getting there.
Yeah.
We're gonna walk all the way around, keep it as tight to the basket as you can. Usually, when you lash, it tightens up on this, but we really have no room to adjust it because because we're having to bend around the handle so tight. So make sure this is pulled as far around as you can get it without bumping.
Okay.
Pull this over. Yeah, between the two sides. Hugging your handle the way I want you. I want to come all the way in.
Okay.
We could do it the way you had it, but you don't have much of a notch holding this together. These handles.
Yeah.
Need to be tight and tight. Alright, bring it on around from there.
And then you,
Because see, this being tight is what gives this something to hold on to.
and then I was supposed to, when I get over here, it's straight over.
Mhm. Yep.
Okay, so
And
I'm turn that right there.
I'm gonna make it a little bit longer because they turn out a little tighter when you get the clothespins out of the way. Now, the pattern says to double lash. You're gonna do one direction diagonal for your first one, and then you're gonna do the opposite direction for your second one, making these X's. If you don't want to do two lashings, then let me know because we'll need to do an X at the handles if you're only gonna do one lash.
Okay, what do we do next?
Thank the basket gods that it's turning out okay. This is your rim filler and Loctite. Blessed be, you know?
That one.
Blue hasn't had a chance to work at all because the handle made this problem.
Oh,
Let me do that just to see if it's still wet enough to grab on. It's zip tie time.
these are-
Zip ties.
I never know which way I'm supposed to put it on.
I want to butt it up against the handle, not run behind it. And the zip ties hold this together until we're ready to lash. We could be using a dozen clothespins. And then when you use the lasher and you're doing that spiral, the clothespins are all in your way and they snag and slow you down. We do the zip tie, it's out of the way until you get to it and then you cut it and you're gone. So, I like that. Do about every 3 or 4 states. You want one on both sides of each side of the handle. So that gets as tight as you can make it. But what I'm doing is I'm looking at, you see that it's flat on one side and a bump on the other. You want the flat side to be in the middle of your loop.
Oh,
And the bump should face you.
okay, okay.
Someone gave me some reusable zip ties. They said, hey, use these and use the same ones over and over for your whole life. You don't have to carry as much stuff around. Did they work? They work, but I just find them awkward to go back and have to loosen the head up when you pulled it snug to begin with.
Oh, yeah.
So it's an option, should those of you who want to weave more keep at it. The woman that I got that tip from is a well-known basket maker as well, and she just swears by it. I swear at it. Norma, you weren't here when I said the pattern calls for a double lashing. You're gonna go across one way and then come back the other way to make an X. Should you choose to only do one lashing, you know how to do a figure 8 and make an X when you come to a handle. Usually you do it on a market basket if you only do one lash.
I guess I've done it. I don't know what you're talking about right now, but I've probably done it.
I think you have to. Are you gonna do one lash or 2?
I'll probably do 2.
Then you won't need to do.
Okay.
I'm not gonna confuse you.
Okay.
And no, because we are zooming this class, all of your class fees were covered.
Isn't that nice?
Well, I was gonna buy another one to take home, so I'll
Okay,
I'll
I'll
do
get right
that.
together in a moment. So
Okay.
you're gonna continue around, Beverly, fitting that in between and then aim your zip ties down. Right, you're at the same point. And get your-
Right here, do I have to, do anything to it? Like,
I'm gonna cut it a little bit shorter. We needed 3 stakes overlap on the outside because this is where the handle pulls and it is on the outside. But the inside doesn't get stressed beyond the handle. So it's just 2 stakes.
My goodness.
But it up against the handle. The inside and outside lined up. Okay. On your zip tie. And I run it every 3 or 4 stakes coming around the basket. You want it snug but not tight. You don't want it to dig a groove into your outside thicker lead. Just enough to hold everything to the back around to it with the lash.
I always have to point
Going through what?
Now I got it. I can't get it. I couldn't get it to come on the outside, but I got it.
I don't know if it's easy to go together or.
Thanks for this. All right, normal, what I'm doing is bundling all the ones that go on the bottom.
Okay.
Oh, pretty.
That's what I did.
Oh. This is Norma's finished bowl from the April class, was it?
I don't know.
Oh,
Well,
how cute.
I'm invited to a 50th, and instead of getting a portable, something I just let the SU back.
It did.
What kind of box is that? Is that wood?
It's wood, yes.
Yeah.
Oh.
The best in the world.
Norma, come back with your bag. These are bundled together. This is short stakes, long stakes, and I think they came out the same. Fillers, walking round. These are your weavers. These are your weavers. Now, those are stakes, pardon me. And your rim is a separate kit. Just because that seems to work out better for people.
Yeah,
Now, do you want the dye in with that? This is still damp. I don't
Think
think
it'll rub off, but
you know how murky it goes.
Is that right?
You might need to sand the handle, feel if it has burrs when you get ready to use it. Why, you still remember it?
Oh, yeah.
Well, while it's on your mind, it's easier.
I took this
It
one out
is,
and
it
it fell
is.
out and I didn't know.
You're all exhausted.
Yeah, maybe.
Lisa, can you slide the zip ties so the tails go down?
Yes.
That'll make it easier when you lash it for it to not snag on stuff.
Okay.
How much for, is it 15 for the extra kit? Because those are.
Yes,
Those shouldn't be.
Oh, we figured that would be.
how many lawns was it? 5?
Yeah. 5 of the 26.
Here, and take everything that is part of the body, tie it together. And your rim is already in jet. That just seems to make it very easy. So long stakes, short stakes. Filler and locking row. These are stakes, but I'm not counting them in because they're still looking. That's your ladder piece. Let me see. Stakes at 5, short stakes at 4. You've got an extra.
Well, that's just standard. My business partner just showed up at my door.
All right.
I guess he's gonna stay there more.
Do you have a bag or something to put this in?
I better lash this at home since he's there. Do that, you think?
You can,
You think I can?
I do.
Or you know I can?
Or you can give me a call next week and we just weave on the porch.
What did you decide about July? You're having surgery and you're not having a meeting.
Right. And September, I asked you if y'all had something you wanted to.
We're not having one in July and August. Is that
Oh,
right?
August would be the next one.
No.
We are having one in August.
Oh, okay.
We are in August.
August, right, yeah.
We are.
Oh, okay.
So not July, but yes, August.
Okay.
And it's August when you wanted to know if we want to do the figure out 2-day project.
If you want a 2-day basket, I can come up with a market basket. Just because they're functional and they're a lot like what you've already been weaving. So it should work out.
And when do you usually do it?
Normally I do it the 3rd Wednesday of the month, but I'll have to check with Michelle and room availability and see when we can do 2 days back to back. And most of you, if you don't finish on day 1, it's going to be the rim that you're lacking, and their rim is just like this rim. Okay.
And now do I have to sign you right with me?
One rim
And I got money to work.
Does anybody want a square basket?
I can make it square, Mary, here. And then split this
You're
over.
not.
I want it so that when you lash it together, it does this.
Oh,
And stays flat across the back. So that means that it will also get cut here. On this side when you get to lash it. So you'll go smooth across. Not have a bullet or bump.
Okay. You want to show me that since I've got to this
Okay.
and see what I've got to there.
May I borrow one of your clips, Kelly?
Thank you, Candy.
Yes, ma'am. And
I like your basket, Lisa.
Thank you.
Lisa, my phone number is on the pattern. Seriously, call me and we'll figure out the time to get together if you don't feel confident doing that.
Okay, so instead of making X's, I make, like Z's.
You gotta go all the way around, like the handle is just part of that colored stake. You got this, girlfriend. Now, I'm gonna back up and make an X.
actually, I'm how everybody can see what's going on. When they leave home.
So this is like a figure 8 around the handle. And it's gonna tag it, stake where it
I
comes
did
back.
my cart sometimes.
Okay, and now we go forward.
Charge it and somehow
Catch this.
it
And keep on
for
going.
ours.
Well, you get to over here, you'll
To my car,
do
so
that, come
I pulled
up,
up into
go
the
down,
driveway.
figure
I was
eight back
parked in the driveway.
on that
And all
handle
of
as
a
well.
sudden,
That
I could
keeps
hear the ringing
this
noise.
tight against
Well,
that
that's-
notch, because that notch isn't
And
much
it
of
was my
a,
son-in-law
a
calling
notch
her on
for
her phone, but he
holding on to
couldn't
that.
hear
Okay.
the ringing.
I'll do
went,
this one
and I'm like-
just,
And he
okay,
goes,
keep
"Hey,
it
how's
tight
it
at your handle
this is
until you
Mary,
get back
this is
to
Mama
it.
Mary.
Well, I'm
Not the only goes, "Well, how come you have me on the phone?" I said, "I don't know you on the phone. I'm just sitting in your driveway and somehow your ring thing came through my Bluetooth or something. I don't
See if
know."
I can
And he
at
went,
least catch a corner of that.
and he hung up.
There you go. When you finish, you may want to
Cut that off.
let's bring it back.
You see it
I
somewhere.
bet it's like,
Kind of scary.
it is.
Still is
You
tapered,
check when you
just
look
take
at
a little
something
bit off the
online,
corner
and
and make it
you know,
look like
you
that was
might be
planned.
interested.
Oh, yeah.
And it, you know,
And then when you get it, it's just got
Oh my
enough
God.
sticking out that won't
You know,
cause a problem.
you know, the funny thing is I'm sitting with my stepdaughter.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. Some
It's
lotion that she
Oh,
needed
oh,
to
wait a minute.
I never even.
See how far out this goes? The more it's gonna happen to
Well,
your
my
handle.
daughter's there.
I've seen that, but I didn't know what to, unless you taper it down again.
You posted a video on your.
No, it's a
Facebook
matter
that
of
has your voice, that hackers
bringing
have a way, or
attention
scammers
in.
have a way to lift your voice and put in their thing. And tell
Something
them
got
to
to
say
pull it tight
whatever
when I got.
they
That's what
want,
I'm
and
doing.
then they're calling your loved one, they're saying, and saying, and it says like, say, honey, I need help, you need to send them money.
Right here, so we
Yeah,
know
and-
it's holding
and
this tight.
It's your voice, it's, your loved ones are hearing your
Because I
voice,
saw that.
and so I thought,
I'm not going.
oh my goodness.
Oh, that sounded
I
good.
get through it and tighten it
It's
up.
so
Now,
scary.
if we have time to make a correction before it flashes, that's the time to do it right. There you go.
All right.
If that
Come
ever
on.
happens, she would say, what's the state word, and if they don't know it, then she'll know it's not. It's not legit.
Gotta be time to hold things together.
Let me just see if I have.
You have the Norma issue. You got the reed tight against this first one, but this one is bigger than your notches and it won't hold it.
Um,
Well, that's a little handy.
And it turns out it isn't tension, it's just holding it tight against the basket like that. All right, so you're doing one lash or two lashes? Doing exit or just leave it?
I think
Uh,
whatever's the easiest.
Not in,
One is
not
the
in this
easiest.
flash.
Just do it.
All right, I'm gonna get you
I don't
started.
remember.
Let me start.
I'm gonna start in a place that I'm gonna get your handles anchored for you.
Okay, that would be good.
Because that's the only complicated part, the rest of this you've done before. All right, Mary, you're gonna wanna watch this. Chances are good you haven't seen how to do a J hook on your rim. A J hook or a fishing hook comes down and it's cut and then it comes back down to that little barb. That's what we're wanting to do. Yeah. So we're gonna start from the inside out. We move over to here, just so I don't have where I begin right at the handle. So, piece the left. Mary, you've been doing J hook. Do you need a refresher?
I have your video back, everyone, it's just like every time I let y'all be
All
better.
right, I'm gonna need you there. So we came from the inside to the outside. I'm going to come up between your weaving and that outside rim. Then I'm going to cross over the weaving and back down the other side. Pull it tight. Because this has a fold here and that fold on top, you can pull on this all you want. It's not going to shift. And so we do J hooks at the beginning and the end of the lasher, just so that we know it's not gonna loosen up over time and slide apart. Now for the fun part. I had to make sure this was smooth side up. And I'm gonna taper this just a little so it's easier to slip in. So I'm gonna go between every one of these vertical stakes.
Are you sure these are photos or like?
I'm just doing that.
So you might want to watch, because what I've got to do is anchor her bushel handles with just this one row. This is why not having clothespins at the top is handy, because you can imagine with all those clothespins, this would just be snagging on everything. Just holding the end so I know which way is up. Now I'm going to cut the zip tie out of the way. This as tight as I can get it. I'm going to come to the outside of the handle. Come across. Make it snug. Now I'm going to back up and end up making what looks like a figure 8. This means we've got the rim on the inside nice and snug as we can get it. Have this cute little X here. And now I cross behind the handle
And just continue.
and keep going. Now, when you have a run of these that you're going to do, you can do them ahead and do small little loops and not have to keep figuring out which is the right side up on this long piece. So I'm going to just run a couple ahead. A little awkward because I don't want to let go of where I was lashing. I don't want it to work itself loose. I can put a clip here on that, but you know, I'm going for time. Time says, hold it. Right, so pull, pull, pull till we get to the other side. Then here again, if you want me to do the same with you, if you're going to do one lash and you would like me to get you past the handle, I can do that. If you want to do 2 lashes, like the sample and the pattern have, then you don't need to do this back up in figure 8, but you will catch it naturally by doing the double lash.
The X was good, but I got lazy.
All right, Bev, what do I do now?
You cross over.
I'm gonna back up.
Yeah. Yeah, the X's look better, but
Well, you would naturally get an X if you double lash. It would happen on its own. But if you're only going to lash once, then we've got to add this. And now I go behind the handle. And Norma, if you do a single lash, this is what your handle will look like on the back. You've got it. Shouldn't be necessary anymore, and it didn't hold. I waited too late to do it. I think you're fine. I think there's enough overlap that it's not going to come loose. And clip when you let go, and the rest is easy peasy, Bev. You got it?
I didn't know it was in that, seed draft.
Okay, we'll get there. I'm trying to see which way I want this to run. There's usually one way you rub your hand on it and it gets all hairy, and another way and it lays down flat, and that's what I'm looking for. So you want it to be this way when you run it. And you end up starting with this upside down, because by the time you spin around, that has your good side to the outside. So I'm going to start here, run it up between the weaving or outside rim. It's going to cross over, and I need this out of the way. We might as well clean up this while we're here. So it goes across the weaving and down the other side. It can stay right there next to the stake, or on bigger baskets, I tend to lean over and tug it behind the weaving, because then I can run it down further without being seen. So snug it down. Get everything back in position and go for it. So we'll run up to the handle. It's a little easier without the corners trying to snag.
I thought you were gonna cut it into a point.
No, that usually ends up with it splitting from the point.
Okay.
If you leave it a little blunt, it stays together better. So I'm just going to roll it in advance. I'll come back and tighten. See how much faster this is than finding the right side up there every time. You want this tight. The strength of the basket lies in your rim. If your rim is loose, it's eventually going to cause your weavers to come loose too. So we want this rim as tight as we can, because it's holding all the other parts together. Yes, I looked for sturdy reed on the lasher, knowing that it's going to have pressure from the handle. So this is a pretty thick piece.
Where do you get all your supplies? Amazon?
No. For most supplies, NC Basket Works in Bass, North Carolina is a good resource, and it's ncbasketworks.com. I tend to order from K&K in Waynesboro, Virginia. They're online. If I'm doing a lot of classes and I need bulk, I can order 25 pounds at a wholesale price from Long Island, New York.
When I do that.
And if I'm dyeing the reed, I use RIT from Ben Franklin. All right, so now we're at the handle. Tell me what I need to do.
You're gonna make an X, right?
Yes. We really can't loop ahead on these X's because it's what's on top here and it gets confusing. You gotta do the long and boring version. Now what? X. It's cut perfectly. Your outside rim, see how the lasher caught it? Again, I want this pin tight because it's making the inside rim hug this handle so it won't jump out of the notch.
Okay, so you just crossed.
So coming up, yeah, coming up, we're reinforcing that this stays tight against the reed, the handle. And on the outside, we get these adobe little X's. You need to have room to run 2 of these through this hole. Because this is a thicker reed, I want to make sure there's room and that we're not going to scrape it going through. It's just fine. From there, you're just doing these loops all the way around till you get back to here. And then you're going to end up with your reed doing this because you come in from that way. So what you do is come up between the inside rim. And usually I try to come under the seagrass at the same time. Things are really tight there now because of this. We don't have as much room to maneuver it. You may only be able to get it to do this and cut it off, and that's all you could do because it was so tight. But if you can, we're gonna run it over the weaving,
Go under and then back over here.
down the other side, and you'll poke out the front, and you'll cut it off.
Okay. Now, if I wanted to do the X, would I do another reed or?
If you're gonna do the X, what I would have done is not do the X here. And you get a whole nother piece, this is 2 pieces, and you come back with another row that goes this way, and it makes the X. But we did this so that there only be 1 row all the way around that's secure.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
But you had it wrong.
You have a question, Mary?
I've got a question. Yeah, Mary does.
She's in line first.
Yeah, I wanted to show me how to end it with that J hook that you was talking about. Yeah, well, that's where it's a little.
Yep, understood.
Okay.
But it may be, we need that space, because I gotta come back in here to
Okay.
complete all these coils, see?
Mhm.
Now, you went over the seagrass. I usually go
Oh,
under
yeah,
the
I did. Well,
seagrass.
I didn't even see that.
Okay, we're gonna back up a moment and make it fix. Sorry.
Well, I was trying to hurry there and I didn't.
Understood.
Pay attention to here. I've got a,
Oh,
You don't do the X, you could come back with another.
I feel like my handle's not.
It looks good. If you don't do the X, she said you can come back and.
if you do 2 lashes, one leans to the left, one leans to the right, they make an X all the way around. So you won't need an extra X to handle. But if you're only gonna do one lash, then we've got to secure that handle on your way around. Right, so now I'm coming up between the inside.
That's what I was gonna do.
I can take it back to where if you want to do two, we can.
Oh, no, it's okay. No, I was telling her something different.
Oh, okay. No, I want these to look the way you want them to look when you get them home.
I just want to get it finished, make sure I get it finished.
This one really is what I tried to make a hole
So
for
I'll
this.
just pull that one out.
Actually, I'm gonna let that make me space for this one
Okay.
before I reposition it.
You're like years ahead of me.
But if you've only done one basket before, and it was a totally different style, I mean, I think all of you have done well today.
I forget.
Right, now when I pull this, it'll pull the other one with it.
I think it's kind of like this. I have a little trouble sometimes.
Well, and with this age group and the number of birthdays we've all had, there is a limit to what your hands can put up with in one sitting.
Yeah.
Now, one last pinch,
Yeah.
because you wanted it squared. How's it doing on the bottom?
Oh,
It still rolls a
Well,
little.
see, I went ahead and did my crochet up outside instead of the inside. Because I thought,
Yours came together differently.
yeah,
But that isn't why. The reason why
it's, yeah.
these,
Right, is that what I've done?
See, this is,
now it's blocking.
Yeah, see, I usually just wet it good and put some cans in
Yep,
it.
but it's sitting pretty well right now. Yep, Mary, the way to fix a rocking basket or one that looks uneven is to spray the bottom of the basket and then sit brownie pan or something across here with a couple of cans of soup or something heavy on it and let it sit overnight. And when the reed has dried, it will have dried flat. It won't have any bow to it. All right, show and tell, zoom.
Oh.
Norma's finished basket with the ladder on the front and her own X on the back. Well done. Yay. Norma's an experienced weaver, but she was saying, well, I just didn't want to waste the scraps, so I did this with them.
you know, I'm.
So what do you think happens here?
Well, I hope you get along good, Candy.
Thank you.
Yeah, I do too.
I hope this is the end of a year and a half of nonstop sinus and ear infections, hearing loss, and balance is wanting. So, yeah. First of all, do you see that one went in here and one went in here, but nothing's here yet? All right, so we're going to go ahead and do that last round.
Did I pull them? Kind of.
Yeah, that's pretty good. But you make a good point, since these handles pull hard. Let me just make sure that my Wonder Woman hands can't walk anything out. And believe me, this is totally because I've done this for so long that I've got a mega grip.
Yeah, it looks so good. Look at her. Yep, what she's got there.
But thank you for reminding me to check that. Do you have blood on this?
I don't think I did.
Little spit will get it
Oh,
now.
okay.
I had heard that the enzymes in your blood match the enzymes in your spit, and that's why it works. You can't spit on someone else's basket and have it do it right. My son, the paramedic, called BS on that, but I don't think he's ever studied that kind of medicine. He studied trauma.
What do you think, Mary?
Would you make basket number 3 at some point in the future?
Sure.
Okay. Then we've been successful.
Well, I keep coming back.
I thought it was just for my gorgeous looks and makeup.
It's your smile. It's your smile. But you are a very good teacher. Very
So-
patient. Yeah.
We went up between the rim and the weaving, crossed over, went down. We're gonna do the same thing. We're gonna come up between this rim and the weaving, cross over, and go back down. So.
What do you do?
I use spoon handles as my packing tools. I could pay $8 a piece for ones with wood handles on them, and if your hands are wet, they slip. These are easier. So what I want to do is come up between this rim and the weaving. And usually everything is so tight at this point that I just as soon come up under the seagrass at the same time. So this is giving me a space to run this through. So that makes me up between the inside rim and the weaving and under the seagrass already. And now I'm going to come down the other side. And out. And I tend to want to put something here as it comes down so it will roll and not bend.
Oh, okay.
And if it bends, it tends to loosen the backside as it goes down the front, which is not a good look.
There we go.
You are done. Now, it's oval at the top. You wanted it square, you want it oval.
Maybe it's square.
Right, then we do the last pinch of the season.
Yeah.
And sits flat. All right, let me have, there were 2 pieces, each of you had 2 pieces of the skinny. Mary, yours is on the floor. If yours ended up on the floor, Norma would have put it away. Norma's good about cleanup. Lord, clear it off.
No.
This is going to go across the ones that are on the outside here.
Okay.
What I want to do is measure it so it's halfway across that one, halfway across that one. That's the length I need. And I think it ends up being like 2 2/3 inches or something. All right, so it's going to run here to here. So I just nudge that. And nudge that. By nudge, what I mean is I'm holding the backside and pushing this row up so that it made this row looser.
Oh,
Level it. You're just going to do that all the way down. You have no green. Do you want green? You have a lot of blue. me get you a little more red and green so you can play with all the colors that are in the basket coming down the ladder. You're in double rush?
Yeah. I was having issues with my handle area, so I thought, well, let's keep going.
I do with some of these baskets, like, since they're keeping them up.
Yeah. Dampen those.
Okay.
You don't want them to crack and insert them. And then when you get them out of the water, sort of wipe them off with a towel so that that won't smudge onto your natural. Yes. Now, hold on, this kind of got a little loose as you were getting that. Yeah, sure, it's tight. No, wait a minute. The one with the end of the seagrass. Oh. I'm gonna try and make it one move to come down the outside and under the seagrass. Because everything is just so tight by the time you've gotten back around, it's difficult. It's gotten soft on the end and doesn't want to do this. I tend to kind of walk it down that last little bit. If it folds, instead of rolling down, it pushes down on this side as well as this side. So having a pencil or something to wrap around as you tuck that down, it does what you want. Believe me, I know my experience because it done happened to me and it's been aggravating. You wanted it square?
Yes.
All right, so we're gonna pinch 2 ends. 2 ends. Well done, ma'am. Got yourself a basket. For a true bike basket, instead of a wood handle, I would do 2 leather straps. Zip tie on, you know, we have so many options. Oh, so, hold on. Let's see what length we want first. Middle of this to middle of this. So you can put that one. I'll hold it. And then you might want to say to yourself, all right, I got red, blue, green, and on a match green, and that might need to be one of the middle ones. I just. Oh, okay. And I'll cut you some more blue. And then level it. That's all there is to it. It is easy, but when I tried it, I was just surprised how much it changed the look of what I was doing.
Yeah. What, that's just it, one little thing, sometimes it just adds.
Yeah.
Enough.
But that blue will be the last one you cut because it's absorbing water and you don't want it to bleed on your natural. Yeah, that's why I might cut you some more. Yeah, you have a lot more red than anything else.
So the second This is where I ended. I should start it on the other side.
Just somewhere else. Not in this.
So.
Yes, it is. So on this one, it doesn't change it.
Yeah, it does. Makes it look a lot different.
This weaver crushed.
They split that camera.
Easy to do, isn't it?
Probably.
You should see what it is.
Just.
How old are they? 5 and 7.
Yeah, you were pulling tight on the weaver and it just took an hour.
I think 7 is like,
It was tough.
you know, the smartest age, yeah.
So it's gonna be
They're like,
fun.
they got everything.
What I,
No, actually, it's not gonna be a problem because
I
they do
do
it. This is on the left side of every space. This one. will be
Squishy or whatever they call
snow.
it. So he
Where this
outlined
runs,
it
it's
on,
gonna
I
have
have
it be
all
on the
kinds
right
of
side.
markers and stuff on the material. And then
Just.
we cut it out.
It's just
I did
down-
end up sending it on
it's
the
just how that works.
and then he stuffed it, that's what they call it.
Run through,
This is, and then
and I will see if I can get back to
And
the
then,
other side, and if not.
okay,
the
so
first one
he
is
wanted
so
to tell me
good
that's
that
what we started
I
at
mean,
first.
just
Oh,
because
he sewed that.
then
Well, then his
this one
sister
is
wanted to sew.
sufficient.
So then this one I sewed on the machine, and then he wanted, and then he put little eyes on it, and like, oh, he's just so, he doesn't want much help. Luckily, I have all this material, they wanted something fuzzy and soft, so I have all that. And they kept me, oh, and then she, a while back, we had, God, this is her ugly doll, this paper, and I punched holes, and then she sewed it. Wow, they kept me busy this week.
They're off for the summer, huh, so.
Yeah, she hasn't started school yet. She'll be in kindergarten this year, but he'll be in the 2nd grade. So yeah. And see, they come to my daughter's house on Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Now we
Right now,
start.
my granddaughter's been they tore up the linoleum or whatever they had in their kitchen, and it has good wood underneath it. So their house is all tore up. It's, they've been coming
Now, if you get
every day.
Oh,
And they like
Jacob
it
on the
being
other
down
end,
there.
I'll be so impressed. Because
It's
yeah,
pretty
Now
good.
it's double the
oh, good. gosh. I can imagine.
I was really tired last night when they left. Come look at the stuff.
just stand the other side is smooth on
All
this
day.
side.
That was my
Oh
thing.
my God, that would be exhausting.
And then they're there again tomorrow. I try sometimes to be busy on.
These are gonna run in through the right side of the space.
I mean, they're pretty good. They're pretty good. I'm not fighting. with each
Jumped
other
several
when they're down
ahead.
at me, because they just like this.
Just because
Oh,
the
yeah.
lashes are super long at the beginning.
Kind of exhausting sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
But
But it's a good exhaustion.
yeah,
But it's better than them being in front of the TV.
that's true. Sometimes we have it on and then there's. Yeah, they don't watch much television.
When I was on the adventure with my grandson, we were at Walmart for something else and he had birthday money to spend, so he found a Nintendo Switch game he wanted. And I called his mom and said, what do you say? And she said, yeah, he can have it. So I knew that was one quiet evening. A picture of him sitting on the bed, curled up with his Switch.
No, they love that.
Well, I limited it, especially when we were traveling and he's used to have it just the whole time. And I said, no, you have it for an hour and then it's going to get turned off. And he honored it. No smart mouth, no argument. He just said, okay,
And how old is he?
8,
8, yeah.
just turned 8.
Yeah, well, I swear they're a lot smarter than my kids were at that age.
Well, he knows he's smarter than one of the parents. And even she admits it.
That's,
But you still have to respect the authority figure in the home.
yeah,
So every once in a while, he'll get smart and we'll go, no, you're still a child.
I know Eli always says that he's very smart, which he is.
Well, they need that confidence. Because the world sure is gonna try and knock him down. If you don't have confidence in yourself,
Yeah.
it can
Yeah, his first year,
be hurtful.
kindergarten, he's kind of small in his first, and then we were new here too, and he had a good time, the kids were kind of.
John is probably the smallest in his class. His mom is all of 5 foot. And he was a Pediashore kid for a couple of years because his appetite comes and goes. He's ADD. And so we did that to make sure he was still getting all the nutrients he needed.
Yeah.
Give this kid a book.
You got like this little piece on your system.
Nope,
No, you don't want it?
no.
Okay.
Part of why my basket room looks like a hoarder lived here.
Okay, I finished it.
Yay! Did well.
Thank you. It's fun. So nobody wants any beets? I've got 2 things, bundles of beets out there, $3 each. You got 4 in the, how do you fix them? How do you? Oh, I boil them and then get the skin off of them, maybe and then just cut them up. Yeah, I'm after my granddaughter, she just cut them raw and roasted them.
I have a recipe for cabbage dressing. I wonder if it would work on beets.
No problem. My daughter's garden, though, with the way the weather has been, she just said she's overwhelmed.
Yeah.
I mean, she had the beanstalk that I just saw her, a week or so, a couple weeks ago, just trying to get it so it would go up. Well, and then our wind came and, oh my gosh, she can hardly, keep it up. It's so thick. And she said she doesn't know what she's gonna do with her tomatoes. She didn't plant any more than she did last year. And it's just,
Got a lot of tomatoes.
yeah, and she will have it, not quite all. Done yet, but yeah, she will.
Oh, wow. You want to say something?
I did.
Yeah, I'm gonna, I'll let you know, and, we do have